Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Mr. Jack Reber, Mr. Paulo Mercado, Dr. Maria Capanzana, Dr. Adela Hamorabo Ruiz, Miss Maria Reza, Mr. Rex Cos, yung aking pinsan kasi siya si Gretchen po, ako naman si Grace po, kaya po po. Mr. Partner NGOs, mga estudyante, ilan dito ang mga sa student organizations? Pakitaas nga ang inyong kamay. Thank you guys for being here. It's really important so that you can spread the word among your classmates and friends in school. So to everyone, hello and good evening to all. Umpisa pa lang ng January. Ilan sa inyo dito ang may mga New Year's resolution? Taas ang kamay. Ilan sa inyo dito ang sa ngayon na may mga New Year's resolution, ang so far, you're still able to keep that resolution? Konti na ng pakonti. Ilan sa inyo dito ang may resolution na pumayat itong darating na taon? Now, to be brutally honest, how many of you here have this resolution year after year? Okay, may nagbago ba? Sana this year meron na. Tiwala lang. Importante talaga na medyo mag-slim down, medyo maging healthy. You know, a new year is always a fresh start. That's why January is always full of hope. SWS, Pulse Asia, they'll always ask before January. And people are hopeful that their lives will be better. Then pagdating ng third quarter, medyo paiba na ang ihip ng hangin. As individuals, we all wish to be better versions of ourselves when we mature. But that goal is not easy to fulfill most of the time. Gusto nating pumayat, pero gusto rin nating subukan lahat ng bagong eat all you can. Only rice. Gusto nating maging mas fit, pero tinatamad naman tayong maglakad o mag-jog kasi mainit at polluted. Do you realize, however, that if you're among those, kung concerned kayo sa diet, kung concerned kayo sa pagpapapayat, at ang problema nyo ay magpigil ng pagkakain, you belong to the minority. While some of us may intentionally starve ourselves to get to our desired weight, millions of Filipinos are starving involuntarily. Yes, indeed. Food literally separates the haves from the have-not. And sadly, there's still a significant number of have-nots, even as they say that our economy has already greatly improved. I have seen the face of hunger up close and personal, and I would like to share with you my thoughts on these. During the last presidential campaign, I traveled extensively throughout the country. I tried to reach as many places as I could, and the demands of the campaign really took a toll on me. Kumalat yung chismis na may sakit daw ako kasi sobra akong pumayat. Pero actually, enjoy ako na pumayat ako. Kasi napakahirap magpapayat. Sabi ko nga, the presidential campaign for me was the most expensive weight loss program. Kasi, kailangan magising ka mga alas 4 ng umaga, tapos aalis ka na, pupunta ka na sa isang probinsya, babalik ka siguro mga sa bahay mo alas 11 na ng gabi. Ganun na naman kinabukasan. At wala sa oras ang pagkain. So mahirap kumain. But what made it even harder is that I met a lot of people in poverty-stricken areas. And though they managed to greet me with eager smiles and hugs, they would tell me about their problems. Most of their worries were about the lack of food and job opportunities. Tama yung sinabi nila. Sa sine lang masaya ang mahihirap na palaging may happy lesson na natututunan tapos masaya ang ending. Pero in the latest SWS survey conducted during the fourth quarter of 2015, it was found that 2.6 million families experience involuntary hunger. So pag 2.6 million families, that's about 12 million Filipinos. Kasi more or less, imumultiply mo yan kung ilan yung average na anak nila plus both parents. Hunger can drive you to do many contemptible and shameful things, mga nakakahiyang bagay dahil nagugutom ang pamilya mo. Have you ever experienced being so busy, busy ka, wala ka ng time kumain? Yung mga gutom na gutom ka na kaya masungit ka na sa mga kasama mo. Sungit na yan kasi gutom na yan eh. Just imagine the things you would do if you had not eaten for days. Eh kung ikaw nagutom dahil you had to skip your lunch, or maybe even skip dinner, what more people who have not eaten for days on it? Narinig na ba ninyo ang term na pagpag? For sure, right? Sinong hindi pa nakakarinig ng term na pagpag? Itaas ang kamay. So, sikat na sikat dito ngayon yan. Imagine, usong-usong pagpag dito. Samantalang yung mga billboard natin, ang daming liposuction, pampapayat, ganito, ganyan. Pero, di ba? Pakalayo ng concerns natin. Dapat ang mga pinapakita natin ay yung mga programa na pwede talagang makatulong sa ating mga kababayan. Ang pagpag, as you know, food scraps collected from our garbage bins are dusted off. That's why they're called pagpag. Pinapagpag muna, nililinis. Tapos, lulutuin siguro muna at saka kakakainin ulit. Can we find ways so that people do not have to eat from our garbage cans? The daily struggle to find a decent meal is real. And children, of course, are the most vulnerable in this situation. In April 2013, the UNICEF reported that we have 3.6 million stunted children, which made the Philippines rank 9th in the list of countries with the highest incidence of stunting. Dito nga sa Southeast Asia, tayo na yata ang may pinakamanga maliliit na bata. Kaya nga, alam mo, paborito pa naman natin, basketball. Pero ang liliit natin. Ako nga, maliit. Pero, hindi lang dapat kasi sa genetics, pwede mag-improve na yung ating race kung tama lang yung ating nutritional program. Alam nyo ba sa Thailand, meron na talaga silang programa for feeding at saka yung mga milk programs nila kasi they're really aiming to make their race bigger, taller, so that they can compete, they can be more athletic. Pero tayo, hindi man lang yun eh. Para lang basic intelligence rin maayos. In the same year, we ranked 10th among countries with the highest incidence of wasting. It was reported that we have about 769,000 children suffering from either moderate or severe wasting. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng stunting at wasting? Kasi pag sinabi nila dati wasted, ang iniisip natin wasted, parang drug addict, bangag. Hindi eh. Ang wasted, ang ibig sabihin, halos butot balat na ang katawan ng isang tao o bata. It has also been found that childhood malnutrition leads to poor performance in school and diminishes intellectual ability as adults. This affects their performance at work and could result in economic hardships for these individuals and their families. Alam nyo ba na ang mga eskwela, maraming mga nag-a-absent kasi walang makain. Nagugutom, nagkakasakit, nahihiya, walang baon. May mga paaralan na sinusuportahan ng mga NGOs katulad ng private citizens ng Britain. Favorite example ko to, yung isang school sa Balot Tondo. Libre po doon ang almusal, libre rin ang tanghalian. Ang kanilang attendance rate ay 99.9%. Ang mga bata mas mataas ang score kesa sa mga nag-aaral sa Makati or sa Taguig na mas mayaman na mga cities. Dahil may pagkain. May mga ballet dancers sila. Ang gagaling ng mga bata. Lalaking matalino sapagkat hindi nagugutom. Imagine, that's all it takes. Now, sabi nila, it takes a community to raise a child. And that's true. That just means that each one of us should be able to contribute what we can. I have a Senate Bill 160, or the libreng, ito yung sinasabi ni Mr. Jack kanina eh. Ang sinasabi niya, he was trying to read it, libreng pananghalian sa Pampublikong Paaralan Act. At saka yung isa naman is Senate Bill 161, known as the First 1,000 Days Act. Okay, let me explain. Libreng Pananghalian proposes to institutionalize a school feeding program for all public elementary and high school students nationwide sa public schools. So papasok ngayon ang mga bata, walang pagkain sa bahay, walang problema, may pagkain na sa paaralan. Tapos, yung bill ko to matagal ko na pinaglalaban ngayon, second reading na. Mukhang mapapasa kasi ang partner ko ngayon, ang chairman ng Education Committee sa Senado, believes in this bill. Senator Bam prioritized it. So we will pass it, and I spoke to my colleagues and I really appealed to them for help. You know, it will cost a lot of money, more than 40 billion pesos. But every child will have food. And we will try to source it from the local community, from the farmers. So they will provide the vegetables, the meat, etc. So there will be a concerted effort to get the community involved. Now, they tried this before. During the administration passed this last one. Kaya lang ang binigay nila, noodles na walang nutrition, na overpriced. Di pwedeng ganon. That's why we will monitor it closely. The second is the first 1,000 Days Act. Ibig sabihin nun, nasa sinapupunan pa lang, while the mother is pregnant, the mother will already be given vitamins and the proper nutrition because they believe, well, you know, research have shown that the brain of a child is actually developed in a mother's womb. And if you don't feed the child properly within the first 2 years of the child's life, beginning from the time of conception, opportunities are already missed when it comes to brain development. Mga kababayan, alam niyo ba't napaka-importante ito at matagal ko nang tinutulak ito. Sapagkat ang Pilipinas, sinasabi nila overpopulated tayo. Totoo yan. 104 million people, maraming Pilipino. But it is also an advantage because we have one of the youngest workforces in the world. Why do you think Nestle likes it here? A lot of children need milk. A lot of families need coffee. We are a very vital market to the international community. Our workforces are sought after because, well, they're young, they're quite skilled. Pero that will not be an advantage if our citizens are not smart. Oo nga, marami tayong mga trabahador, marami tayong empleyado. Kung hindi naman matalino, kasi hindi lumaking masustansya yung kinakain or walang pagkain, hindi man lang sa sustansya, walang pagkain. Sayang naman. Diba? So, alam mo, sabi ng Goldman Sachs, pagdating ng 2050, the Philippines will be the 13th largest economy in the world and we will reach a demographic sweet spot. In fact, we already are there. So to prepare that, the government has to invest on the young population now and even on children who are not even born yet. That is our long-term investment that I guarantee will pay off. So, let me skip because these are the things that I already talked about. But poverty and farmers go hand in hand. Poverty, hunger, and malnutrition are intertwined. It is ironic that the people who provide us with food are those that are most hungry. Ang mga magsasaka natin ang pinakagutom sa ating bansa. Most of them are farmers and agricultural workers. Farmers earn approximately 178 pesos daily, so farmers cannot even afford to buy premium, well-milled rice that costs about 42 pesos per kilo because this would leave little else for ulam, clothing, and other household essentials. So yung nagtatanim ng bigas, hindi man lang makabili ng dekalidad na bigas. According to the 2015 Family Income and Expenditure Survey, the poorest 30% of families spend 59.7% of their income or more than half of what they earn on food expenditures. Alam nyo, pag pinababa natin ang presyo ng pagkain, kunyari, our policy for rice, let's help the rice farmers maybe have diversified crops and then import rice from where it's cheaper. We can lower the incidence of poverty by 5%. That's a lot. Anyway, more to the point. We need to find ways on how to increase the productivity of farmers. Now I've had the privilege of listening to a presentation by Nestle. And, you know, it's truly heartwarming that you guys are doing this. to consolidate all of these different NGOs and also students and even your employees to come up with this corporate social responsibility is quite admirable, creating shared values. I heartily commend Nestle for this, and I thank you. And I would like to propose just a few more ways by which we can strengthen and support our farmers. Number one, embark on a nationwide soil testing program to find out what to plant and where. Upon gathering this information, assist farmers to shift to area-appropriate crops and more lucrative, high-value crops. Alam mo, sabi nila yung kape daw dito sa Pilipinas, binibili halos lahat ng Nestle from our farmers. So, but the coffee that we produce is not even enough to fulfill our own consumption. So there's clearly an opportunity there for farmers to have a higher value crop. And I thank Nestle for partnering up with farmers, for giving them the seeds, for giving them the technology transfer, and also the marketing for their products. Number two, let's widen access of small farmers to formal credit. Financing is key. Kailangan nila ng pondo para hindi sila pumunta sa 5-6. At hindi nila ibenta sa luging presyo ang kanilang mga pananim o mga iaani nila bago pa nila iani. Number three, capitalize on information and communications technology-based tools that can help in marketing products. Certainly, the younger generation can use social media so that you know how much the pricing is, let's say, in the local market or even in the world market of your products. And you know what? I think there's also corporate social responsibility. A company has put up a weather app, and it's very accurate. Almost by every 3 hours, they update it, so farmers know when to plant if they rely on rain-fed plants or rice. There's an interesting program based in Brazil called the Zero Hunger Strategy. It creates linkages between small farmers and their national school feeding program. So we'd like to have that. Through this strategy, the government's feeding program is required to buy at least 30% of its food supply from the farmers. This will ensure a source of fresh and locally produced ingredients which will equally benefit the children and the farmers, as well as generate other non-farm jobs, transport, nutrition, and management. So in closing, I would like to mention something I read in the Nestle report that made an impression on me. It said, we in Nestle believe that a truly successful business not only infuses a nation with the economic means to prosper, it also contributes to a thriving society. I am delighted that there are companies which have acknowledged their responsibility to the larger community and are doing something about it. Ms. Puyat of Ogilvy mentioned to me that this is quite far and few between, but hopefully we can get more companies to do such important work for the community. I am overjoyed to see many young faces, mga kabataan na naririto. Hindi lamang sabi kasi nila hindi daw sexy ang laban pagdating sa kagutuman. Mas exciting ang iba't mga advokasya. Mga war on drugs, for example. Oh, may problema tayo doon, pero ito problema ito ng mas maraming tao. Ngayon, do you remember the line in Rogue One? Ang sabi nila, revolutions are built on hope. So let's spread more hope so we can find revolutionary ways to introduce genuine change and achieve a hunger-free society. US President John F. Kennedy once said that the war on hunger is truly mankind's war on liberation. This is a battle we must all wage against vigorously and victoriously. Pwede, extrajudicial feeding na lang ang gawin natin. Gutom ang dapat patayin at hindi ang nagugutom. Maraming salamat po at magandang gabi sa inyong lahat.